Welcome to the Work Heartily podcast, where we grab no more than 15 minutes with Nashville founders and executives you know and admire, and some that you need to know, and ask them one big question. I'm your host, Jonathan Barnes, coming to you live from the Work Heartily headquarters in Brentwood, Tennessee, where we help growing Nashville area businesses win through embedded fractional leadership. Today, I'm joined by Dustin Hillis, who's the president of Safe Space Global Corporation. He's an entrepreneur, an investor. He's also an author of the new book, Capacity, Building Your Business Bigger Than You. Dustin, I'm very glad you're here.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. So, are you ready? Here's your one question. What broke first as your company was growing, and what did you learn?
Yeah, great question. And, as the president of a AI physical safety company, I can tell you that there are many things that break on a regular basis. We're in the senior living facilities, we're in schools, and man, we're inventing something that doesn't exist. When you think of the multimodal application layer of being able to do facial recognition, doing notifications, locking doors, notifying people to help save the lives of dementia patients, it's a lot. There is a lot of integrations that can happen. In terms of what broke, I'd say over the last year, we raised $10 million and we really had a vision for building this tech. But when we raised the money originally, we didn't have a team and we didn't have a product. So we had an idea, we had a beta test, but really that was it. So being able to scale up, we've hired over 80 people. We opened up an office in India. We have AI engineers building every day right now. We did have a sales team in Asia and we actually had to shut it down. And I think the thing that broke, to your question, was we outsold our ability to develop the tech fast enough. We had a massive pipeline of people that were interested saying, yeah, let's do it. But the product was being built as we were selling it. And so I would say that's the problem that most people don't have is they
Yeah,
outsell what their tech can be built. So we retooled, we refitted, and since November, we've been focused just on 2 verticals instead of 4 verticals. It's been senior living and it's been schools. And as of today, we have 8 signed contracts with senior living where we have elopement prevention and wandering prevention using facial recognition. So it also saves like dignity, where our biggest competitor, WonderGuard, is a wearable. So we're using ambient facial recognition to help people with dementia and people that
yeah,
are a flight risk to be able to stay in their facility safely and with dignity without having to wear the wearable and irritate their skin and all, or just cut it off and then they leave because
yeah.
it's not as effective as our solution. And then locking the doors, notifying the people that work there that, hey, somebody's attempting to elope. All of that we have actively deployed and have working in facilities now. In addition to that, we have visitor management and we also have incident management. So what used to take 8 hours when an incident would happen watching film, we can now do with facial recognition in 8 minutes. And
It's
it is a
unbelievable.
game changer for these facilities.
Yeah, and
So
I
that's
think it's,
senior living,
yeah,
and then schools is weapons detection. And then we notify a human in the loop. That's our human in the loop. They push a button that goes to our integration partner that locks the school down, calls 911, puts the people to the school, and we are proactively, not reactively, stopping school shootings.
I think that, it's a good example of there's a few things there, right? Uh, you know, overselling beyond the capacity of your team to deliver and understanding kind of what's the gauge there. How do you understand your existing capacity, and then how do you gauge yourself on the selling part of it? So that's communication between sales and operations and sales and delivery, and then obviously product is thrown in there too with the nature of what you're doing. The one question I had to kind of dig a little deeper is, how did you, what was the aha moment or the recognition of that? And then how did you communicate that to the people that were really excited at the very beginning that you had to slow down a little bit to catch up with your sales
Yeah,
pipeline being so robust?
great question. It was really bringing in competent execution team members that have operated at a high level. We brought in our CIO, Pete, who came from Procter and Gamble
Yeah.
and had been a CTO at Procter and Gamble for many years, and he really orchestrated our product management office.
Yes.
And we started having regular meetings with a product roadmap, really laying out exactly the checkpoints and how to do QA and not just build the tech and just throw it out there, but to properly build out the tech to be installed with quality assurance, customer service, training, making sure that not only are you giving somebody a product, but the product is being used by the end consumer.
Right.
So when you think of the heavy lift behind that, it will boggle your mind of like, this is not just building a widget and handing it to somebody. This is a fully integrated physical safety system that we're building from
Yeah.
scratch. And, we're a year into it. So for people that have been following the journey, you can imagine how much work that is. And I'm just so excited and proud of our team that
Mm.
we are in currently 6 locations, installing in 2 more of our 8 contracts that we've sold. And each one of those is a learning lesson. You think about door locking, for example. Well, some
Yeah.
doors are already locked. Some doors are not locked. Some doors are sliding doors. So each one of those is a different configuration. So
Yeah.
we hired 2 new vice presidents of operations and AI integration, and they are game changers as well. Where one of them came to us from Amazon.
Mhm.
He was running Twitch product delivery at Amazon. And then prior to that, he was at Google and had a product delivery at Google. So we have big time, high, deep tech experience on implementing real systems at an enterprise level. And so for me as president, it's hiring the right people that
Yeah.
have the chops and the experience because I've never done that before, but Sean has.
Yeah. And I think that's a great lesson to learn as a leader. I've heard that you basically are the lid of your own company if you are trying to run it yourself. And you need to be self-aware enough to understand what your limitations are. Even though your enthusiasm might be very high, your capacity to get all this stuff done, whether you're enthusiastic about it or not, you just might not know how to actually get this, get it delivered well. And so understanding that and recognizing when's the right time to hire somebody in with that deep level of experience, that really is a ginormous game changer. And I think,
It
yeah,
is. I mean, you're only as strong as the strengths of your capacity is in direct proportion to the strengths of your systems.
yeah,
So straight out of my book, Capacity. And the systems are your people. So when
yes,
you see, man, like we're integrating in a senior living facility and door locking is a thing, like we have a fully dedicated vice president of operations right now. And the only thing that we're working on every single day is door locking. Like that's one example that I don't know door locking, but he does. Then, yeah, same thing with the technology and mapping out a roadmap of we have 8 stages that we're working through from the sales funnel going, hey, somebody's interested, but then you got to scope it out. You got to price it right. Just our master services agreement alone would blow most people away of how much work it takes because
yes.
you're talking about people's lives in
Oh, yeah.
schools.
Yeah.
And,
And
like,
yeah.
where is the liability and all the stuff that people
Yeah.
just don't think about that we've been quietly behind the scenes working on and have now gotten to the point where it's game time, but if you don't have those things right and you miss it, I mean, it's detrimental, so we have been really honed in on building that team and doing it right.
I think what you said about your systems in that kind of world is not just your product, it's the people behind it. And so that's kind of all encompassing word for the AI and the product you're using, as well as the people behind what's delivering notifications or delivering the kind of safe environment types of interactions that you have.
That's right.
Back,
Your team is the company. People just see the company as a brand and whatever, and it's like, no, look at who's doing it, and people's track records precede them. Like you can look at somebody's track record and see what their future is going to look like.
that's
So
right.
you have a team of people that have successfully checked those boxes, successfully done
Mm,
things like at Amazon and Google, or
yeah.
successfully achieved huge goals. They're probably going to do it again. They've been there and done that and got the T-shirt. And I'm
Yeah.
super proud of. We have over 50 team members right now, and they all check that box.
Can I ask a question? The second part of my question was, first was the sales and operations. The second thing I was going to ask about is, and I've asked this of other podcast guests, the looming, awareness of AI and the scary ideas that people are throwing out there. I don't see it that way. I see it as a huge help to be able to use a tool to do all sorts of things. Productivity is obviously the first kind of easy thing that people are using it for, but life-saving, in the healthcare profession or in education like you're doing. How have you addressed that with people that might have some objections to either privacy issues or AI overreach? How are you communicating that? Because that might help other podcast guests as they're thinking through or other listeners as they're thinking through, like, how am I implementing AI? Do I broadcast this? Do I not? How do I broadcast this to the marketplace in a way that is helpful instead of scare tactics?
Yeah, great question. AI is the future, whether you like it or not. So just start there. It's already bigger than the internet. So just think, can you go one day without using the internet? And AI is bigger than that. So you're going to use it more than you use the internet.
Yeah, and
And
people
then
are
the
using it
privacy.
and don't even know that they're using it. Actually,
Exactly. It's so integrated into the big tech you're already using. They're just not advertising it. But you're getting exposed to AI thinking way more than you think you are. I mean, every time you turn on the TV, every time you turn on your computer,
yeah.
Facebook, I have a friend that's an executive at Facebook and they're doing AI first, meaning every question that they answer, email, text message, they're asking AI first, then they respond with the answer from their AI.
That's
So
unreal.
the whole company's doing.
Yeah.
So in regards to your privacy, I think people just that still think that privacy is a thing. They should go watch the movie Snowden and
Yeah.
just kind of get in tune to how long that's been going on. Just for me, the way I look at it is I just live a life that is like I'm not trying to hide anything.
Right.
And so because if you are trying to hide something, it would be scary because you can pretty much find out anything about anybody if you have the right resources, and there's no amount of security that's gonna stop somebody from finding something out who's motivated.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe in basic rights. I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in all the constitutional rights, and I do think there's a level of dignity and basic rights. But if the government wants to find out something, you are not going to stop them.
Yeah, I would agree. I think back to your point about just living a life that is unsullied by that's truthful, right?
Yeah,
That you can walk out on the street and be confident that your words, what you say, you mean what you say and you say what you mean. Those kind of basic golden rule type of behaviors are very, um, that those are the way that you should live your life anyway, you
that's
know.
right.
And so it's helpful to just be reminded of that, especially if people are getting scared. That's very helpful. Thank you. I think, I see AI just as another tool, just like the internet broke in, just like broadcast media broke in, just like the wagon wheel broke in, just like the automobile broke in. And
Yeah. Well,
let's use it well.
and that's a great point. Just like the automobile, like in the gold rush, the people that really made the most money were the people selling the shovels.
Yeah.
And that's how we see ourselves
Yeah.
is we're not trying to compete with Anthropic and OpenAI. We're the ones that are the application layer. Like we are taking it to the street and solving the biggest problems that are the most vulnerable populations. So elderly care, schools with kids. I mean, school shootings has become an epidemic in our society, and somebody's got to solve it. So we are on the mission and we will be part of that small group of people that actually stops school shootings.
It's such a noble cause and so admirable. So yeah, let's can't wait to see you guys keep on pushing forward. That's amazing. Dustin, thanks so much for taking some time with us on the Work Heartily podcast. If you, listener, if you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, share it with another founder or leader. Be inspired by Dustin's story. You can visit workheartily.com to learn how embedded fractional leadership can help you and your business thrive and grow. We will see you next time. Dustin, thanks again.
Thank you.